Here we go. Pull them tight off a turn at number 4. 20 laps to the distance. Night number 1 for the modifieds, and we are underway. Tonight's USRA Modified A main underway, and Rodney Sanders will quickly jump out in command of your field as the field hustles down the back straightaway. Working off a turn number 4 to lap number 1. Score at 20. Rodney Sanders, your leader. Second, C.A. Nix. C.A. Nix, the 4 in car, will grab second from Ryan Madaw at the line. Derek Hicks falls back into the 4th place spot as Chad Clancy will pick up 1 position there on lap number 1. Clancy up into the top 5 on the opening circuit as we complete lap number 2. Sanders, your leader in 20. Rodney Sanders out to early command. Just under a half a straightaway advantage over C.A. Nix in the 34 in. Ryan Madaw still working in that 4th place spot. Derek Hicks in 4th, top 5 around and out. Who's it going to be? Stephen Bowers Jr., a pretty good run. Up to the outside of the 21C of Chad Clancy. That was the race for 5th at the line. Clancy still has the spot as Rodney Sanders just rockets around the top side of the I-35 Speedway. Half a straightaway advantage over C.A. Nix. Ryan Madaw still following in 3rd, 4th, Derek Hicks. 5th, Chad Clancy. 6th, Stephen Bowers Jr. 7th is Jake Tim. 8th is Josh Angst. Race for 9th is between Dustin Sorensen and Johnny Scott. Johnny Scott out of a B main. He'll take the 9th place spot at the line from Sorensen. Here comes Johnny. Johnny Scott now into 9th. Working down to 8th place running Josh Angst. He'll take over that spot as well. Johnny Scott now into 8th. We'll see if he can track his way towards the front. Josh Angst gets a little tight coming off of turn number 4, pushes up the banking. He'll lose some ground to the 1ST of Johnny Scott, who looks to run down the top 7 now. Jake Tim, Stephen Bowers Jr. nearly to getting together over in turn number 2. That's allowing Johnny Scott to close in quickly on those 6th and 7th place cars. Rodney Sanders going to be approaching lap traffic very shortly in this one. He's caught up to the 92 of Tyler Grooms. And just like that, we're picking our way through lap traffic with 12 laps to go. Caution going to come out. Joe Horgdahl's around in turn number 1. Rodney Sanders will hit his marks down into turns 1 and 2. Derek Hicks trying to go after C.A. Nix. Hicks and Nix side by side down the back straightaway. Derek Hicks down to the inside. C.A. Nix rolling the high line of the speedway. Chad Clancy starting to get wound up in the 21C as well. Don't count Clancy out. The Polo, Missouri racer, very fast and going after your top 3 is Derek Hicks. Going to grab that runner-up spot. A tip of the cap to Derek Hicks early on in this one. 10 laps in, 10 laps to go this time by. Rodney Sanders continues to lead. Derek Hicks in 2nd. C.A. Nix in 3rd. Clancy in 4th. Race for 5th, Jake Tim, Ryan Madaw. Now Johnny Scott in that battle as well. Madaw up to the outside of Jake Tim. Down the back straightaway, those two go door to door down into turns 3 and 4. Side by side, working off of turn number 4. Tim to the inside, and he will grab the spot at the line. So Jake Tim grabs 5th at the line. Madaw back into 6th. Stephen Bowers Jr. back by the 1ST of Johnny Scott. Some good racing outside of the top 5 as Rodney Sanders continues to blister the field in tonight's Modified A main. It's all Sanders out in front, has them covered thus far. Derek Hicks, a great run going in 2nd. C.A. Nix still in 3rd. Chad Clancy. Those top 4 broken away from the rest of the field. Jake Tim works in 5th. 6th is Stephen Bowers Jr. 7th is Ryan Madaw. 8th is Johnny Scott. 9th is Zach Sanders. Top 10 rounds out with Dustin Sorensen. 11th, Josh Angst. 12th is Jason Cummins. Stormy Scott right there as well in 13th. 14th, John Allen. Top 15 rounding out with Adam Cates. Got one slowing down through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if we are able to race by the slowed 21, Dannon Knott. He will pull down into the infield, but we've got a caution. So a cone getting kicked out onto the speedway over in turn number 2. You can see it right through the middle of the speedway over on exit turn number 2. So somebody tossing a cone out onto the speedway. Number 1 for the modifieds, and we're back underway. Rodney Sanders takes the field back down into turns 1 and 2. Derek Hicks along the bottom groove of the speedway. C.A. Nix the high side, put Derek back into that second place spot. Chad Clancy, Jake Tim go wheel to wheel down in turns 3 and 4. Those two turning up the heat for that 4th place spot. Chad Clancy, Jake Tim battled out. Here comes Stephen Bowers Jr., the 77. He's had a good night as well. He'll roll back into the top 5 by the 49 of Jake Tim. So Bowers back into the top 5 as the field works off of turn number 4. It's Sanders, your leader. Hicks and Nix even at the line of dead heat between the 78 and the 34 in. They race side by side once again off of turn number 2. Nix with the momentum along the high side of the speedway. Hicks still working down on the inside. They remain door to door. Hicks to the extreme low side, but it will be the momentum up top that will put Nix back into the 2nd place spot. And caution coming out once again. Car off the end of turns 1 and 2. Darren Fuquay, the big-time Bell Bonds 87, over the end in turns 1 and 2 and forcing officials to bring the caution flag out once again. So here we go. Back to the green off of turn number 4. 17 in, 3 remain on night number 1. Rodney Sanders looking to wrap it up in that MB Custom number 20. He'll hustle to high side one more time. C.A. Nix and Derek Hicks. That battle will pick back up for the 2nd place spot once again. Stormy Scott going to the outside of the 21 of Chad Clancy. Here comes Stormy along the top shelf of the speedway. He'll work into the 4th place spot by Chad Clancy in the 21C. The Storm now up into 4th. Started 16th on the grid in that 2S car. He's now into 4th and looking for more as he's closed in on Hicks and Nix, who run side by side. White flag in the air and 1 lap to go. A lot could happen for that 2nd place spot as Stormy Scott within reach of C.A. Nix and Derek Hicks. Nobody's touching Sanders, though, as we wrap this one up into 3 and out of turn number 4. Night number 1 will go to the Rocket. Rodney Sanders, your USRA modified feature winner. 2nd to C.A. Nix. 3rd, Derek Hicks. 4th, Stormy Scott. And 5th to Chad Clancy. So Chad Clancy rounds out the top 5 of this one. 4th in that one, Stormy Scott. 3rd, a tip of the cap, a great run. Derek Hicks finishes up in the 3rd place spot just ahead of Stormy Scott. 2nd goes to C.A. Nix. And your modified feature winner here on night number 1 of the 4th annual Summit Racing Equipment USRA Nationals out of Happy, Texas. That's Swan Energy, DriveWFX.com, Town Oil Field Services, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Wichita 5 Speedway. They'll head down into Victory Lane. So Rodney will draw first blood in the USRA Modifieds here this weekend. They will wrap everything up down in Victory Lane. For those of you tuned in and still with us on RacingDirt.com, we thank each and every one of you so very much for joining us online, joining us here in the stands. For everybody on the broadcast, Robert Claunch getting all the great shots here this evening. The lone cameraman this evening out in the cold. A good job out of Robert Claunch. Stick and Trenton Berry. Again, thank you all for tuning in on RacingDirt.com. We'll see you back here at 7 o'clock tomorrow. 6-car starting grid on night number 1. Here we go. 20 laps the distance. Your B-Mod A-Main is underway. Off to a good start through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. The 20X of Steve Stormer down to the inside of Tim Eaton. Eaton going to round turn number 4 and leave lap number 1. So Tim Eaton, your leader, looks out. We got one spinning down into the infield. And now we got big trouble on the front straightaway. So big trouble on the front stretch. It all started when Steve Clancy was headed sideways down into the infield. Going to go ahead and stop the field out of turn number 4 to get this situation righted on the front straightaway. Red flag will come out. Brings them back around, and we are back underway in tonight's Outpace USRA B-Mod A-Main. All chasing down that $500. They go 3 wide for the runner-up spot. Ainsworth in between right now. Jake Richards right there, as well as the 20 of Steve Stormer. They're going to stay 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. It all sorts out this time around. Look out, Gene Claxton's a little out of shape down the front straightaway. Ryan Gilmore out of the B main. He's picked up a few spots in that pink numbered 66 as well. We'll keep an eye on Gilmore. Pretty good run going right now for the Springfield, Missouri racer, just outside of your top 5. So a few spots out of the top 5 as the 66 of Gilmore as Tim Eaton leads. It's the 20X of Steve Stormer in the second place spot. The 17J of Jake Richards running in third. Shadron Turner slides up into the fourth place spot ahead of Ainsworth in the 57. So Shadron Turner on the move as well, up into fourth. Ben Modry down to the inside. He'll go after Ainsworth off of turn number 2. He's going to grab that fifth place spot down the back straightaway. So Ben Modry into the top 5. The Hastings, Minnesota racer has worked up into a top 5 right now. He's had a pretty fair night in that 85 car as he works to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Ryan Gilmore following in his wheel tracks down to the inside of Ainsworth. So here comes Gilmore closing in on the top 5 as well. He sets 7th right now. Dan Hovden, the national points leader, right behind him in the 16 car as they race down the front straightaway, all chasing Tim Eaton right now in 211. Ryan Gilmore working back down to the inside of the 85 of Ben Modry. He's going to try to grab another spot, and he will. Ryan Gilmore 13th now into the top 5 here on lap number 7. So just 7 laps complete in this 20-lapper, and Gilmore has rolled from 13th into the top 5. He'll look for more in that 66 car as the next driver in his crosshairs will be the 17T of Shadron Turner. So Gilmore will go after Turner. Richards down the inside of the 20X of Steve Stormer now. Richards trying to grab that runner-up spot down into turns 3 and 4. They race side by side there off of turn number 4. Good racing for second, and Stormer hangs on to the spot for time being. Richards still going to work down the inside of the 20X as Gilmore has made his way by the 17T of Shadron Turner now. Ryan Gilmore now to 4th. Turner trying to battle back along the high side of the speedway. Jumps out of the groove for a moment. Gilmore secures the 4th place spot as Jake Richards takes over second from Steve Stormer. 10 laps in and 10 to go. Halfway through tonight's Outpaced USRA B-Mod A-Main. And Tim Eaton trying to roll untouched in 211. So Tim Eaton fast around the high side of the I-35 Speedway. Jake Richards in that second place spot. Here comes Ryan Gilmore powering down the inside of the 20X of Steve Stormer. The run continues for the Hoffman race car number 66 of Ryan Gilmore. They'll be dead even at the line. The 20X of Stormer barely fends him off that time by Gilmore. Trying to grab a podium spot this time off of turn number 2 as they'll race side by side. Gilmore down the inside, Stormer rolling the high groove of the speedway. Gilmore may have it this time off of turn number 4, but Stormer denies him at the line. Good race for the 3rd place spot. Ryan Gilmore on the inside, Steve Stormer along the top shelf of the speedway, and Gilmore has the spot this time down the backstretch. So Gilmore grabs 3rd just as Tim Eaton starts to approach the back of the pack. Lap traffic going to play a factor in this one shortly. 15 in and 5 to go, and Tim Eaton has caught the back markers in this one. We'll see if that shakes anything up for the St. Joseph, Missouri racer. Your pole sitter has led since the drop of the green flag in this one as we have 4 to go. We got trouble now in turns 1 and 2. Looks like Claxton involved in the 42. A flagman here this evening. Mike Schrader now has the rest of the evening off, I do believe. If he has his way anyway, he will stay right up here in the booth. Tony Morgan back atop the flag stand once again as the 211 of Tim Eaton gets set to take the green flag. We are back underway off of turn number 4. 16 in and 4 to go. Side by side for the second place spot down the back straightaway. Jake Richards sideways along the bottom. Looks like Gilmore will pick up another spot this time around. The 66 of Ryan Gilmore now to second. He may grab the lead as well. He'll dive down to the hub of the speedway. Ryan Gilmore out of the B main, now into the runner-up spot in the 66. Can he challenge the 211 of Tim Eaton? He works to the hub off of turn number 4. 2 laps to go this time by, and Eaton sees that pink 66 down to his inside. Here comes Gilmore side by side for the top spot, working off of turn number 2. Ryan Gilmore trying to claim the win here on night number 1. Your runner-up in national points, trying to close the lead up on Dan Hovden as he goes side by side with Tim Eaton off of turn number 4 at the white flag. One more lap to go, door to door. Who's it going to be? Ryan Gilmore on the inside, Tim Eaton up top, coming down to the checkered flag. Gilmore down to the inside. They'll go side by side one final time off of turn number 4. Tim Eaton with the momentum and the win on night 1. Tim Eaton, your winner. Second goes the 66 of Gilmore. Third to Richards. Fourth to Turner. And fifth to Modry. So your top 3 in this one. Jake Richards ends up in the 3rd place spot. Ryan Gilmore from 13th to 2nd. A great run for the 66 here this evening. Falls just 1 spot short. And we'll stand Tim Eaton, tonight's Outpace USRA B-Mod feature winner. So Tim Eaton will get his picture taken. He will be presented the big check, the $500 top prize here this evening. Great run again, his 11th USRA B-Mod feature win this season. He'll try to inch closer to the top 10 in national points. Comes into the weekend 12th in points. A good night here tonight. Of course, Ryan Gilmore rolling up through the field from 13th to 2nd. A fantastic run for him as well as we get set for tonight's Holly USRA Stock Car A main. Green flag waves on the E-Mod A main. The herd rumbles down into turns 1 and 2. Billy Spillman out to the lead over the 14 of Gary Ainsworth as they race down the back straightaway. 75 of Randy Smith Jr. quickly picking up a few spots. He's up into 3rd. Car around in turn number 4. Believe we will be able to score the opening lap. A lapper for the E-Mods. Here we go. Back to green off of turn 4. Randy Smith Jr. has been awfully quick since the drop of the green flag. He'll pick up another spot. Started 7th on the grid. He's already up to 2nd. Just 1 lap. The 75 really rolling here in the early stages of this one as Spillman will come around to lead lap number 2. Spillman leads Smith in 2nd, and we got more trouble in turn number 4. Trouble in turn number 4 once again, and the caution flag will come out onto the speedway. We're going to 300 to win E-Mod A feature. Billy Spillman, your early leader in 63. Here we go. Green flag to the air. The E-Mods are back underway. Spillman races down the back straightaway out in front. We'll see what Smith has in that 75X car. Looks to be one of the quickest drivers on the track. We'll see what he can do. The 14 of Ainsworth working in the 3rd place spot. We got one point in the wrong direction down in turn number 4. He's off onto the apron of the speedway. We'll see if we stay green or what happens here. Caution light will come out. Spillman in 63. Back on the loud pedal off of turn number 4. Good restart for Randy Smith Jr. down into turns 1 and 2. Trying to grab the lead, won't be able to do so. Spillman will still have the top spot off of 2. 3D, Matt Dorsum rolling his way up through the field. He's pulled down to the inside of Ainsworth. He started on the 8th row, the 3D, making some hay in this one. Looks like we got a car around down in turn number 4.
Come on, get her going. We got one setting up here in 4.
And the caution flag is out once again.
I don't know if that yellow's on that 3 wire.
Out. Single file, nose to tail, back around to turn number 4. Spillman still the leader, and the green flag is back in the air. Randy Smith Jr., a good restart there for the 75 car. He'll try to jump up into the lead over the 63 of Spillman, but Spillman will deny him out of turn number 2. Spillman still your leader. Dorsum has rolled from 17th, or make that 15th, now into the top 3. He's picked up a dozen spots here in the early stages of this one. The 3D not done quite yet. He'll roll up to the outside of the speedway through turns 1 and 2. Here comes the 3D of Matt Dorsum. He'll apply heavy pressure on the 75X of Randy Smith Jr. Oh, and we got one spinning down in turn number 4. Here we go, back to the green flag. Randy Smith Jr., yep. He'll keep her fired up. We're going to stay green. 3Y, Blaine Yance goes around. Dorsum is going after the 75X of Smith for the second place spot. Pretty good race in there. We've got one driving about on the back straightaway. Look out, your leader goes around. The 63 of Spillman went around. Your leader loops it. Collects a couple more cars down. Smith Jr. on point, single file, nose to tail. Looks like we may have 7 in, according to lap board over in turn number 2. Green flag back to the air, and we're back underway. Randy Smith Jr. to the lead once again down the back straightaway. Dorsum with a less than desirable restart there. We'll see if he can get it wound back up to challenge the 75 of Smith. Good run off the top side of turn number 4. He'll now roll up to the outside of Smith through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Dorsum from deep in the field, challenging your leader down the back straightaway. Smith along the bottom, Dorsum rolling the high line. Here comes Dorsum up to the outside. New leader at the line, Matt Dorsum in 3D. So Matt Dorsum to the lead in the 3D machine. Started 15th on the grid. Now your leader down the backstretch. 2 laps to go this time by. The end is in sight. The 3D of Dorsum, your leader. Smith in second. Top 3 rounds out with a 14 of Ainsworth. As we look to wrap up tonight's E-Mod A-Main. Into 3 they go out of turn number 4. Now white flag to the air for the 3D of Matt Dorsum. Checker just about to come to the air as they rifle down the back straightaway for the final time. Into 3 and out of turn number 4 from 15th to win the 3D of Matt Dorsum. Second will go to Smith. Third will go to the 5J.
I am going to go.
They will present the trophy, take the pictures down in victory lane. Again, a $300 winner here tonight. The hard charger from 15th to win. One more time here this Thursday evening race. Fans, your feature winner, Matt Dorsum in the 3D.